The Malvern Manor was built in the late 19th century and started out as a small family-owned and operated hotel. The hotel would operate for more than 20 years thanks to its close proximity to the local railroad station. But over the years, as automobiles became more common, it put a financial strain on the hotel and would ultimately close its doors. After closing as a hotel, the Malvern Manor would turn into a short-term care facility in the 1950s. Over the years, reports would surface of abuse and mistreatment of patients. The facility would operate until the 1970s, when the state shut down the facility for licensing issues related to the building itself. Due to the reported abuse and maltreatment of patients during the manor's short life as a care home, many believe the former patients have stuck around in the afterlife, contributing to the manor's extensive haunting. And as more paranormal investigators and individuals have investigated the manor, the longer the list of associated activity has become. Some of the reported activity includes objects moving on their own, and voices being heard throughout the manor when no one else is around. Others have reported flickering lights, being touched and pushed while walking or standing in dark corridors of the home. The most famous spirit within the manor is simply known as Grace. During her time at the manor, she was described as one of the most disturbed patients, having suffered from various mental health conditions and multiple personality disorders. During Grace's stay at the manor, staff reported having been called to her room on multiple occasions. Today, her room is considered the most haunted room in the manor, with regular paranormal activity being reported in that area. Some of the activity reported within Grace's room includes disturbing EVPs, involving multiple voices recorded within the room. This brings up the question of whether Grace's multiple personalities could still be held within the walls of the manor as residual energy. The next known spirit is a young woman committed by her husband. Before being committed, she had become obsessed with the idea that her husband no longer found her attractive, and during her stay at the manor, staff would often find her standing in front of the mirror, pulling her hair out. Today, multiple reports exist of a woman's apparition being seen standing in front of the same mirror, pulling her hair out as if stuck in an infinite loop in time. Over the years, reports of an inhuman manifestation have also appeared, believed to have manifested from the dark energy that surrounds the property from its past. Some have reported seeing this energy mass as a black shadow, but many others have reported feelings of despair and dread while investigating the property. This energy is mainly focused around the area below the attic, where a patient was abused by another patient for years from the problem, and it is believed that this has contributed to activity being magnified within this area. Today, the manor is open for paranormal investigations and has attracted paranormal shows such as Paranormal Lockdown and Destination Fear, also known as Project Fear here on YouTube. The Farrar School, located in Farrar, Iowa, was originally built in 1921 and opened to students in 1922. The school would serve the county as the primary elementary school for the next 80 years and would ultimately close in 2001. During the school's 80-year history, it would see thousands of students pass through its halls. While the school has a quiet overall history, it also has a long paranormal history associated with the school itself. The school is located in Farrar, Iowa, which has a population of roughly 30 people, and this number is quickly declining with each passing year. The school itself is built on 6 acres of land and is located across from the local cemetery. Could the haunting be connected to the cemetery? I'll leave that up to you to make your own connection. After the school closed in 2001, it sat abandoned until 2006 when former owners Jim and Nancy Oliver purchased the school. Quickly after purchasing the property, they found that they were not alone. While the exact cause of the paranormal activity is unknown, paranormal investigators and former owners have reported various paranormal activity throughout the school. Some of this activity includes orbs seen throughout the school in various areas, voices, and various shadow figures, including the outline of a boy seen in the gymnasium. One of the best known accounts comes from former owner Nancy Oliver, who became unsteady while on the stairs when she suddenly felt a hand on her shoulder that helped her regain her balance. Thinking it was her husband, Jim, she turned to thank him, only to find no one was there. In 2007, psychic Jackie Carpenter was invited to conduct the first paranormal investigation of the Farrar School, and was able to quickly verify the paranormal activity that was actually happening. Over the years, the school has been featured in multiple documentaries on Discovery, Fox, and many other networks. In 2024, the school was sold to YouTubers Sam and Colby. Throughout the history of the school, only friendly spirits have been known to inhabit the school, and while recent reports vary, all visitors have reported that paranormal activity is still ongoing within the school itself. Moving to Fort Dodge, Iowa, we find the Banwell Bridge, which has a tragic and gruesome history. Built in the 1800s, Banwell Bridge is one of the oldest bridges in Iowa. While we are unsure the original bridge has been rebuilt at any point due to conflicting information, we can say the bridge is one of Iowa's most haunted due to its long, tragic history. Being set over the Union Pacific Railroad tracks, the stories of tragic death on and near the bridge have become part of the local history. One of the most gruesome stories involves a mother who brought her children to the bridge to watch the train pass. As the train was approaching, she threw each of her children off the bridge one by one in front of the train, before jumping off the bridge herself. Today it is believed she haunts the bridge and the surrounding area with her children. Many reports have surfaced over the years that if visiting the bridge, visitors should close all windows and lock their vehicle doors, as the spirit may try to throw you off the bridge. Many visitors to the bridge report seeing shadow figures on the bridge and in the woodlines, strange orbs floating along the bridge and railroad tracks, residual energy of a train whistle, and even voices from within the woodlines. While a few versions of this story exist, many agree that something is off with the bridge, as many visitors report the feeling of being watched from the moment they get near the bridge until they leave the area. Built in 1873, Independence State Hospital was designed to be the state's second asylum, which was designed to help relieve the overcrowding issue at Mount Pleasant State Hospital. While the building is still in use today, there is no shortage of paranormal activity reports from the staff and visitors, with a special focus on the Days of Yore Wing, which is today a museum. During the hospital's early days, it took patients suffering from various mental health conditions and the criminally insane for experimental treatments and patient care. While the exact cause of the haunting is unknown, it is believed to be linked to experimental treatments and patient care over the years. Visitors and staff have reported hearing whispers throughout the building and disembodied screams down the halls, cold spots throughout, and even the uneasy feeling of being watched. While the exact number of spirits who still reside here is unknown, the property's long history and the number of patients who have passed through its doors have many suspecting the hospital is haunted by hundreds, if not thousands, of different souls. Some former staff and medical residents have also reported paranormal activity throughout the property, including ghostly apparitions, footsteps throughout the tunnels, and many other unexplained occurrences. Edinburgh Manor is considered one of the most haunted locations in the Midwest, but before we look at the current hauntings, we need to go back to the 1850s when it all began. Originally built as a poor farm, the property was used to house both lower-income individuals and those with mild to severe mental health conditions. During this period, the building saw hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals pass through its doors, with so many people coming and going, when you were probably thinking, well, there had to be deaths on the property. If so, you would be right. The property has seen its fair share of deaths from 1850 to the time it was demolished in 1910. When an individual passed away on the property, they would often be returned to their family for final funeral arrangements. But for those who never got claimed, they would often be buried in the cemetery on site, with some being rumored to be buried in other locations across the property. In 1910, construction started on the new building, which would become the Edinburgh Manor. In 1911, the Edinburgh Manor opened and accepted individuals with various mental health conditions, disabled individuals, the poor, and the elderly. Unfortunately, many individuals who stayed on the property found themselves subject to neglect and abuse due to overcrowding, shortage of staff, and other factors. It is believed today that many of the former residents of the Edinburgh Manor and the previous poor farm still reside on the property. When the manor closed in 2010 due to needing extensive repair, it was found former residents and staff had left some personal belongings behind, as when they left the building, they never returned. Plans were established shortly after the closing to turn the property into a bed and breakfast, but those plans changed after significant work to the property was found to be needed, and the owners started to experience paranormal activity throughout the manor. Once the plans changed, it was open to day tours and overnight investigations for paranormal investigators. Most who enter the property are not disappointed, as there are many records of EVPs, footsteps, cold spots, and even full-body apparitions seen within the walls and on the property. The paranormal activity is believed to be amplified by the personal effects that still remain on the property to this day. Some of the spirits that reside on the property include a little girl on the first floor who can often be heard singing, laughing, and running down the halls. She can also often be found playing with the toys which reside in room 106. Over the years, paranormal investigators have called her Susie, and she has been heard on EVPs saying she was just dropped off at the manor. Continuing on the first floor, we find a male spirit who resides in room 121, but can also often be heard walking the halls of the first floor to room 108. The male spirit is believed to have ended his life in what is today the janitor's closet. Moving into room 105, many investigators and visitors to the manor have an uneasy feeling within the room, as it is believed severe abuse took place within the room. Moving to the second floor, we find a woman in a white dress is often seen. One of the owners has also reported feeling someone squeezing his big toe while staying in the room one night. Others have reported a white mist being seen near the ceiling, and in room 204, the toy fire engine has been witnessed moving on its own as well. In the basement, reports of 2 male spirits have been recorded. One male who was often seen in the basement is reportedly seen wearing a brown cowboy hat and a long duster coat, and is believed to reside on the property since the 1800s. The other spirit in the basement is nicknamed the Joker, but don't let his name fool you, as he is often known to grab and leave marks on visitors. He is also reported throwing objects in the basement dining room. Visitors have described him as a slender build with a crazy or sinister smile on his face. He is often seen wandering between various rooms and is possibly a former patient. Finally, visitors have reported trouble breathing in the basement, and many of the marks reported have been around their necks. The second male is believed to have taken his life in the former padded room, and is believed the marks and trouble breathing are residual energy still carried within the building. Built in 1872 by James Swain, the Vincent House is one of the oldest homes in Fort Dodge. During their time living in the house, James's wife Adeline dedicated most of her time to educating women and taught higher education in English, oil painting, and drawing. Over the course of 8 years, the Swains lived in the house. It was rented out to individuals new to Fort Dodge and also rented out for banquets, parties, and receptions. As the spiritualist movement took hold in the area, the Swains quickly took notice and formed a following and held seances in the ballroom. In 1874, Adeline found herself elected as the state secretary, and shortly after onto the Greenback political ticket. During her time as the state secretary, governmental meetings would be held at their home. In 1877, Adeline would find herself a widow as her husband James passed away, and she would ultimately move from Fort Dodge. The home would remain empty until 1879, when the Webb family purchased the home. While the home was not yet finished, they would move into the property with their son Donald. Today, the property is known to be haunted by multiple spirits, which are believed to be tied to the deaths on the property and the spiritualist meetings. 2 of the spirits believed to have remained with their home include James and Adeline Swain, who usually can be found checking out guests and listening to anyone who plays piano. The next spirit known to be on the property is that of Helen Vincent, the daughter of Webb Vincent. Helen has been seen during parties and by visitors touring the home at night. Helen is known to be a friendly and playful spirit who is not afraid to manifest around guests. She is only seen in a black dress and is often seen running around the first floor or through the upstairs hallways. Webb Vincent is also reportedly still with his old house. Charles Vincent took his own life in the ballroom during the stock market crash of 1929 and is often seen upstairs. Activity in the home includes objects being moved, manifestations, and lights randomly turning on at various times of the day and night. While it is believed about 25 spirits reside inside the home, none are known to be malicious, and most, if not all, appear friendly, and some, like Helen, playful. During paranormal investigations of the property, equipment and batteries are known to be drained. Others have reported movement on the second floor and footsteps throughout the home. Finally, others have made reports of hearing music play on the second floor when no one else is present and no radios are turned on. Today, the Vincent House is on the National Register of Historic Places and is available to rent for meetings, special occasions, and more. At number 4, we find Stony Hollow Road, where it's said a woman jumped off the cliff just outside the tree line. Over the years, reports of a woman in white walking along Stony Hollow Road have been reported, with some reporting her holding a rose. It is believed she jumped off the cliff after her lover failed to show up to run away with her, Little is known about Lucinda, but many visitors to the rural woods and nearby cliffs have reported seeing her. Other reports within the area include anxious feelings within the woods, the feeling of being watched, and strange sounds and voices. Others have reported screams, feeling sick, and possible cult activity at the location. Today it is believed Lucinda still haunts the road looking for her lover. Reports have also surfaced about other spirits haunting the same stretch of road, including a possible demonic spirit. A few investigators have also reported shadow figures, EVPs, and other paranormal activity. One of the most famous locations on our list has found its spot at number 3. The Villisca Axe Murder House, located in Villisca, Iowa, was the scene of a brutal murder on June 10, 1912, when 6 members of the Moore family and their 2 guests were killed by an unknown attacker sometime in the night. All 8 were killed by an axe, and while suspects have been sought, no one has ever been convicted of the crime. Out of the 8 who lost their lives that night, it included 6 children ranging from age 5 to 12, which 4 of the children were part of the Moore family. The other 2 children were part of the Stillinger family. The parents, Josiah and Sarah Moore, were also found in their bed, having been killed the same way as the others. One fact that stands out about the crime is that mirrors were all covered in each room, and only one child had defensive wounds on her arms. It is believed the family knew the attacker, and that the one responsible may have been in the home waiting for the right moment. While we can't go into much detail about the crime itself, it's believed the kids and Josiah and Sarah still haunt the home. Paranormal activity within the home includes voices, shadow figures, stuff moving, unexplained noises, EVPs, and much more. Many of the EVPs caught within the home include footsteps, child voices, and unexplained noises. While EVPs are picked up throughout the home, many are picked up within the attic and bedrooms. Some may be residual energy, while others appear to be part of an intelligent haunting. The home today is a popular tourist destination where visitors can visit the home for tours or book overnight investigations. Over the years, the home has been restored to the way it looked in 1912, with no electricity or running water, but this can be found out in the barn for those doing an overnight investigation. The Villisca Axe Murder House has been showcased on multiple paranormal shows and by multiple YouTube channels. To this day, the case remains unsolved. In the future, we will be doing a video dedicated to this location, so stay tuned for that. If you like history, true crime, or paranormal, this may be an interesting stop for you if you find yourself passing through town or maybe looking for a day trip. Squirrel Cage Jail, located in Council Bluffs, was built in 1885. Squirrel Cage Jail is one of 18 rotary jails across the country. What sets Squirrel Cage apart is the fact that the jail is 3 stories tall compared to most, which are only 2 stories. The jail started out its life as a maximum security prison, which would operate until 1969. In 1971, the jail would transfer hands to the Council Bluff Park Board until 1977, when the County Historical Society took over. While the jail is a popular tourist destination, it is also reportedly haunted by multiple spirits. The first spirit believed to haunt the prison is Jake Bird, who is believed to have killed upwards of 46 people and served time in Iowa, Michigan, and Utah. He would serve 31 years before being executed. During the trial, Jake put what is known as the Jake Bird curse hex on everyone involved in his conviction, including the judge, his lawyer, the detectives who took the confessions, and others, all who would perish prior to his execution, with the judge being just a month after his sentencing. The second individual is Charles Brown, who spent 3 days on a drunken murder spree before being caught. He would become the last inmate executed in the state of Iowa in 1962. It is believed he inhabits the jail, as the noose which took his life is still on display within the jail. Some of the paranormal activity reported within the jail includes shadow figures throughout, disembodied voices, and much more. Near the area where executions were performed, the apparition of Charles Brown has reportedly been seen. Visitors have also reported hearing footsteps throughout the jail. Over the years, the jail's activity has increased, and much of it is believed to be trapped souls who are unsure how to cross over or refuse to cross over, as they remain in their last place they resided. At our number 1 spot, we find the Drake Observatory. Originally built in 1920 to 1921, the observatory would go on to support the Drake University as well as the city for years. On the front of the building, surrounding the main entrance, you will find the 12 signs of the zodiac. that have been carved into the columns and above the door. You will find a carving of an ancient Egyptian depiction of the sun. Unlike many locations on our list, the observatory is believed to be mainly haunted by Dr. Daniel Walter Morehouse, who was the former chairman of the Astronomy and Physics Department. When Daniel passed in 1941, he was cremated and laid to rest within the walls of the observatory with his wife Myrtle. Today, visitors to the observatory report feeling to be in woods, various footsteps throughout the building, and the basement where his lab was located. Some visitors have reported seeing an older gentleman walking around the observatory who is believed to be Daniel, who may be just looking over his last workplace. It is believed the spirit who resides within the observatory is a friendly spirit and mainly staying around his favorite location while also watching over guests and researchers who visit. If you like this video, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider it. I will see you in the next video.